One Piece chapter 954 is obviously out. Even the official translation is out, and it did change a bit of things. But today we're going to focus on the alliance and the major implications of the Big Mom and Kaido alliance. Now in 954, Big Mom and Kaido have quote unquote squashed their beef, right? They're now friends and they're partying. You know, Kaido's big party is coming up, and their goal is to ultimately take over the world and then continue their fight. I don't have to explain to you just how large and how important this is. This is groundbreaking for two Yonko, who is relatively in their primes, to ally like this. We've talked ad nauseum about Yonko versus admirals, and can the Marines stop two Yonko from overthrowing them? Apparently Kaido and Big Mom feel like they have a chance at actually taking over the world. Do they really? It's a lot to talk about because, again, just the pure nature of what they're doing is unprecedented. We don't know if two Yonko have ever allied before. We know they've met, we know they've talked, we know they've been friendly, but a straight up alliance? Unprecedented. So first off, how does this impact everything that's going on in Wano? Because we're going to cover it on different scales as far as Wano, the world government, just the world in general, the other Yonko. It's a lot of things to cover. I may try to fit it all in one video, but if I see it's getting too long, we might have to split it up. First off, how does it impact everything that's going on in Wano? Right now, Luffy and the alliance, they feel like they have gained some momentum because of everybody that they have, because of all the forces they've acquired. They feel like if they go at Kaido right now, they should have a chance because in their mind, Big Mom should be apprehended by Kaido, or I wonder if Big Mom has been a factor in all of their decisions. But let's think about it. They have the samurai, they have the minks, people of Udon, and obviously our main forces, but is that enough? We just got introduced to the numbers. Not exactly sure what they are, but people are saying they're Oni. People are also saying that they're probably like Kaido. Their strength is what's important here. What they are is kind of irrelevant because what we're going to care about is what they can actually do for Kaido and his crew. I think they're behind the calamities, but just above the smile users like Holem and Batman. But if you've seen Batman in the anime recently, it may freak you out because he might just be commander level. Guys, just watch this. But the numbers are evening the playing field for Kaido and his crew. Well, the thing is, we didn't feel like Kaido was necessarily behind the alliance because of Kaido himself. We felt like he was such an overwhelming force that we needed everybody just to topple him. So with just Kaido, we felt like it would be monumental to overthrow him. Now you add Big Mom. Matchup wise, I'm still not sure how this is going to work. People have been saying that they should bring in the Grand Fleet, but the Grand Fleet is not going to take care of Big Mom herself. I think that's the main issue here. Not necessarily the numbers or the fodder behind Kaido and Big Mom, but those two heavyweights. How do we take care of them? The stronger characters that we have on our side, or not on our side, but against Kaido and his crew, Law, Luffy, Kid. You can throw Zoro in there, Sanji, but we feel like they're going to fight the commanders. I'm talking about Zoro and Sanji. They're going to fight commanders. Some people do actually feel like Zoro should take part in a fight versus Kaido, where he should be interacting and challenging Kaido, especially if he's using Enma. I don't know. I feel like that deserves its own video because it's a lot going on with the Zoro versus Kaido thing. But is that enough? We felt like even if it's Luffy, Law, Kid, Zoro, and Sanji versus Kaido, we still felt like they probably aren't strong enough. Now, in chapter 954, Luffy is actually training. How much further can Luffy go with this training? Now, Luffy's strength, as far as we know, he should be right around right hand level. And based on the story and how characters have been portrayed so far, it doesn't seem like the right hands have a chance against their captains. At least the ones that we've seen, I guess, a lot from. We haven't seen Ben Beckman, we've seen Rayleigh, but not in comparison to what Roger can do. We don't know what King can do. And I'm still holding out hope for Shiryu. But on average, the right hands can compete with a Yonko. And I'm not necessarily sure if that's what Oda was trying to portray in the Payback War, in which Marco, who the Gorosei felt like he had a chance with the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates to topple Blackbeard. And then we know that he got overwhelmed by Blackbeard. It was not a fair fight, or it was not a close fight. So is this Oda trying to tell us that, hey, a right hand cannot fill the place of a Yonko? But regardless, with that crew, it's a bit different because they did not only lose Whitebeard, they lost 2 commanders in Ace and Thatch. So going against Blackbeard, who also acquired Aokiji, but based on the anime, it seems like Aokiji did not participate. They got overwhelmed. But after losing your captain and losing, another strong fighter, and Jozu should have had 1 arm as well, I don't think they had much of a chance. Can those 4 topple Kaido? And now we have Big Mom. Who the heck would be fighting Big Mom? Even if you bring the Grand Fleet, I think overall they're not strong enough individually to make a difference. Yeah, they can fight all the fodder beneath them, all the gifters and pleasures and numbers, but who is going to take care of Big Mom? Now, for this to make sense, Oda has to scale the characters. Right now, Luffy's right-hand commander level, and with his training, I think Oda is trying to show that he's going to surpass that. So by the time Luffy's fighting Kaido and Big Mom, he should be slightly above right-hand commander level. And I expect Kid and Law to be portrayed in a similar way as well. You guys know how I feel about Kid. I feel like Kid is somewhat of a parallel to Luffy, not direct, because Luffy has done a lot more as far as we know, but Kid, as far as portrayal, will, tenacity, it seems like he has the same mental makeup that Luffy has. Like, no matter what, I'm not gonna back down and I'm gonna keep going. Like we heard in 954, Kid and Killer, it didn't matter. They kept fighting Kaido when Hawkins, and Apu was already working on the Kaido, but when Hawkins gave up and he said he had no chance or no other choice but to go on the Kaido, in which he did have a choice, they fought until they collapsed. So let's say Oda portrays Law, Kid, and Luffy on a level in which those 3 can possibly defeat Kaido. Right now his team is a bit extreme, but let's say he does, because Luffy, again, he's currently training. Like, who the hell can take on Big Mom? Like, I really can't think of who could do this. Now, there are a few outliers here. Nekomamushi has to come back. If word gets to Nekomamushi or gets to Marco and those guys that Big Mom and Kaido have allied, do they come back? Does Marco join the fight? Vista, Jozu, the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates? Because I think they would be needed, because with Big Mom allying with Kaido, does she call some more forces to Wano? And not only that, Big Mom has people in Wano. She didn't bring her entire crew, obviously, but she has strong people that she brought with her that are going to help her fight against the Alliance. There are actually some formidable fighters with Big Mom. Smoothie, Perospero, Daifuku, Mondor. She has a good amount of people with her that could cause a problem for the Alliance. Just off rip, you can say Smoothie, obviously a second commander, and Daifuku, who is not far behind that commander status in Big Mom's crew. So we have a lot more problems on our hands that, okay, if Marco and the remnants of the Whitebeard Pirates, if they come along, it does help, but it doesn't take care of Big Mom. I really don't know what happens there. But there's another wrinkle. How genuine is this alliance? Like, I understand that they're doing it to take over the world, but we know Big Mom is somewhat vindictive, and she's smart, but she can backstab you. Is Oda going to write it in a way in which both of the Yonko nerf each other? So essentially, they're in the alliance now, but Big Mom, in some way, she double crosses Kaido, and Kaido has to confront her, and then we have a Kaido versus Big Mom fight. They continue fighting, and somehow our alliance, they invade at that exact moment. Maybe not the exact moment, but after they fight for a while, and maybe they're not 100%, and now all of a sudden we have a nerfed Big Mom, a nerfed Kaido, and I think we can figure that one out, but not with both at full strength. I don't know how this alliance is going to work. They want to conquer the world, and that's going to take a lot of planning and trust, and I don't think they have that yet. Of course, they've been friends for a long time, and one of the questions I asked, I said this in the review, why did it take now for this to happen? But I don't think it's gonna work. I just don't see it working. Obviously, narratively, you can't have Big Mom and Kaido take over the world because Luffy has to become Pirate King and blah blah blah, but I can see so many things going wrong with this alliance. So who takes out Big Mom? If everything remains the same, who knows? Oda will have to get into his bag and pull something out again, because I cannot see how the alliance wins in this scenario. Now, the next major implication that could balance out the odds: Marines being involved. In the midst of the reverie, we got information on the Rox Pirates. So this was foreshadowed, because Garp says if they come back, there's not much we can do. It is what it is. Just keep smiling, essentially, right? They're back. Not full strength, because we don't know the entirety of the Rox Pirates. I expect a flashback at some point, but Kizaru was trying to go to Wano to stop them. There's been speculation as to who the silhouette could be. People were saying that it could be Kizaru, who was the one who freed Law. The only thing is, Law would have a different reaction to seeing a Marine Admiral just casually on Wano. I don't think it's Kizaru. But for the Marines, I think they have to make a move. There's no way you get wind of this and then you say, you know what, it is what it is, it's fine. No, if Big Mom and Kaido ally and they make a move on the world government, you have to mobilize. But the best way to stop that is to somehow stop this in Wano. They're gonna get wind of it. Like the world government, they know everything. They have spies everywhere. However, who do you send? Fujitora is still chasing down the Straw Hats in law. I think Fujitora makes sense here because I can see Fujitora and other Marines actually evening out the odds. My only thing is, if Fujitora comes and he's helping the pirates again, how do you feel about Fujitora at this point? We know he's all for the greater good. It does not matter who the person is who saves face. He's all about making the world better. He would fight on the side of pirates if it means stopping a greater force like Kaido and Big Mom. Smoker. I know there's not a lot of good or positive vibes around Smoker because Smoker in a nutshell has been undervalued as a captain or as a Marine and as a character overall. We expected great things from Smoker because he was somewhat the Marine parallel of Luffy. I mean, other than Kobe, because Kobe's the direct parallel as far as ambition, but Smoker, as far as doing the groundwork and chasing Luffy no matter where he went, Smoker was that guy. Post time skip, I think personally, in my opinion, Oda dropped the ball on Smoker. I think he should have made Smoker a bit stronger because granted, post time skip, you can make a character as strong as you want to. It's been 2 years. You could give him so many different things. He somewhat made Smoker an annoyance to Luffy and the Straw Hats and not a direct counterpart. There's no way you can justify Smoker apprehending Luffy at this point. Yes, he's with Vegapunk, and there's something he's doing in regards to getting stronger, but not that strong. But if he does come to Wano, especially if Oda gives him a power-up, like a meaningful power-up in which he's somewhat fighting fourth commanders at this point, it could be something that could help the alliance. But this would be the perfect time to unleash Green Bull. I say that because we don't know what Green Bull can do. We don't know what he looks like. The perfect showcase is in a major war like this, in which Green Bull would have to go all out, essentially, I guess, because you have 2 Yonko you have to take down. So if Big Mom and Kaido does make a move on the Marines, especially with the uncertainty of the warlord system right now, it's major problems. We know it's the 3 great powers and how they balance each other. The warlord system, it's kind of in flux because they're thinking about abolishing that entire system, or Fujitora presented something that could replace it. We're not sure what's going on with the world government either because we know Im-sama is a great cleansing that's coming. The Yonko, they're all on the move currently. We know Shanks is on the move. We know Blackbeard is obviously on the move, and Yonko, Big Mom, and Kaido, they're moving as well. So the Marines, they have to send a group to Wano. Maybe it's a covert mission. It does not matter. Marines have to now be in Wano. We had speculated that from the beginning that Marine presence makes sense. Now it is dire. It is desperate. It is essential for Marines to be in Wano. You have to stop this alliance from leaving Wano. This alliance meaning Kaido and Big Mom. Now, the impact of this alliance on the other Yonko. Shanks is going to get word of this. But what does Shanks do? I think Shanks could probably, again, report to the Gorosei, report to the world government saying, hey, Big Mom and Kaido have started an alliance. If they ally, that's the greatest force currently in the world that could oppose the world government. You have to do something. So then it goes back to mobilizing the Marines. I don't think Shanks would do anything in regards to going to Wano, but I could see him in some way helping the Marines stop them if it went too far. Shanks, in my opinion, is worried about maintaining the balance of the world because I think he's saving it or keeping it somewhat in order until Luffy can accomplish whatever he needs to accomplish. So Shanks, I can see him actually helping the Marines if it got to that point, stopping one of the Yonko, but I think his main thing is to let the world government know and let them mobilize because I think he has to somewhat toe the line of I'm a pirate still, but I'm worried about this balance. I'm worried about the overall nature of the world. So that's what I see Shanks doing. Now, Marshall D. Teach. That's the interesting one. Because we always said that Blackbeard could actually go to Wano. What if Blackbeard goes to Wano? And he sees this as a moment. Knowing the world government is going to be there, knowing the alliance between Big Mom and Kaido, if you know their personalities, things could go wrong quickly. What if he goes to Wano? Or sends someone and say, hey, we swoop in as soon as we see the Yonkos are on the defensive. If they're down, we're taking their devil fruit or we're just taking them out regardless. Blackbeard is going to make a move. It's too prime for him not to make a move. So Blackbeard either goes to Wano himself or sends someone to Wano. I heard people possibly saying that Blackbeard could ally with Shanks. Are you crazy? There's absolutely no way in hell that Shanks and Blackbeard will ally. That's not happening. and we shouldn't even entertain that. Another faction that could be impacted by this, guys, are the revolutionaries. You find out that Big Mom and Kaido have allied. Wow, that's an amazing force. You find out that the Marines have to send 1 or 2 admirals to Wano to help stop this threat. Wow, there's 2 admirals down that they don't have right now. What do? The revolutionaries would absolutely take advantage of it. My thing is, with the revolutionaries, we don't know their plan. We know Dragon plans to move on the world government at some point, but what does he do here in the face of the Marines being faced with the threat of 2 Yonko? It's honestly in the revolutionaries' best interest if the Yonko leave Wano and actually make a move on the Marines, but how far are they willing to go to make that happen? This is a scenario. Say the revolutionaries send someone to Wano and they're reporting saying, hey, the alliance of Big Mom and Kaido are losing. Do you think the revolutionaries would help Big Mom and Kaido to make sure that they actually leave Wano, because that would actually help their cause of moving on the world government? The only thing is, Big Mom and Kaido plan to take over the world. So even if they take down the world government, the revolutionaries, they're going to have to take down Big Mom and Kaido eventually. I guess something that we have to point out is that the revolutionaries, they don't care about the Marines per se. That's not their goal. Their goal is the Celestial Dragons. They want to take them out, that entire power structure, to weed those guys out, because they feel like because of them, the justice system, quote unquote, is based in corruption, because they have to do whatever the Celestial Dragons want. And the Celestial Dragons, they're not exactly, quote unquote, good people. They're not even slightly bad. They're freaking terrible. They're just horrendous. It's a lot of moving parts. Like, this alliance is going to cause a major ripple effect throughout the One Piece world. The 3 great powers, it's obviously out of whack now. We're not sure exactly which route the warlords are going. Mihawk even said, hey, Perone should probably leave because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Mihawk is somebody else. If he moves, he could affect a lot of things because of the weight he carries. So it's interesting what he does. I think he's a character that just stays neutral and just moves how he wants to move. He doesn't really take sides in that. He's like, it doesn't involve me. Say he's no longer a warlord. Say he's just a guy that's just roaming the seas. Like, whatever, that's not my business. Aokiji is another person that could sway this. We're not saying, hey, if he betrays Blackbeard. We're saying when he betrays Blackbeard, because we know it's going to happen. Aokiji, based on personality and portrayal, it does not fit the Blackbeard Pirates. And as Doflamingo said, he does not have the eyes of a man that's given up. I want to know your thoughts on this. How do you feel Big Mom and Kaido, this alliance, impacts the world? We may be in for it, guys. Well, I guess another thing quickly, just to double back to the alliance fighting Big Mom and Kaido, Hawkins is probably going to join the alliance now. The alliance being Luffy, Law, Kid reluctantly. Hawkins has a card that could amplify his abilities past their regular limits. If he uses that on those 3, could they defeat a Yonko? I think so. I'm not sure. I think so. But let me know your thoughts, guys. Give me your thoughts on all of it. The Marines invading Wano, the revolutionaries and what they do, how the alliance can overcome Yonko Big Mom, the possibility of Weevil showing up. Does Marco actually come now? Give me your thoughts, like the video, be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.